Whoever Allah guides, no one can misguide. And whoever Allah leaves astray, no one can guide. And we bear witness that there is none worthy of worship besides Allah, the one who is unique and has no partners. And we bear witness that the Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Allah's servant and messenger. قال الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم, Allah says in the Holy Quran, وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّمَا الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا لَعِبٌ وَلَهْوٌ وَزِينَةٌ وَتَفَاخُرٌ بَيْنَكُمْ وَتَكَاثُرٌ فِي الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ كَمَثَلِ غَيْثٍ أَعْجَبَ الْكُفَّارَ نَبَاتُهُ ثُمَّ يَهِيجُ فَتَرَاهُ مُصْفَرًّا ثُمَّ يَكُونُ حُطَامًا وفي الآخرة عذاب شديد ومغفرة من الله ورضوان وما الحياة الدنيا إلا متاع الغرور. The Quran says that we be aware that the life of this world is but play and amusement. It's about lavish adornment and it's about boasting amongst one another. Excessiveness in belonging and excessiveness in the desire for male children. It is like the rain and the growth which it brings forth, delighting the hearts of the tillers. But soon you see that it withers, and it grows yellow, and then it becomes dry and it crumbles away, and then there's nothing left of it. Similarly, in the year after, there is severe retribution, and there is forgiveness also from Allah that satisfies. So what is the life of this world really, if you look at that example? Except that it's a short period of momentary pleasure, but also deception. So before I start, I just want to say that, you know these movies, when you see some of these movies, and before the movie starts and it says, this movie is not based on any particular character, dead or alive. So I think I need to put a footnote in the beginning of my khutbah also. This khutbah is not based on any particular person, dead or alive. I think if the khutbah touches you, it equally touches a lot of other people in the room. So don't think that it's based on you. My duty as an Imam is just to give it to you as it is. If I was sugarcoating it and making it nice and making you feel good about yourself, whatever, then what's the message in how we make changes in ourselves and improve ourselves? Based on that verse, there are 3 verses in the Quran, 3 surahs in the Quran that speaks more in depth about this kind of need of humanity to want to hoard and to think that that will sustain them. But yet we all know that one of the things that surely is going to happen to all of us is death. But yet we have this need to create more and more of whatever we have. So the 3 surahs is Surah At-Takathur, the surah that we all know if you've been through Hafid is Wal-Asr, and Surah Humazah. And these 3 surahs is Surah 102, 103 and 104. And so Wal-Asr, which is the hope, the reality and the hope, is placed in between these 2 difficult surahs. So At-Takathur and Humazah reminds us of the result of our destructive egos, of our wanton needs. And Surah Asr in the middle reminds us of the result of what happens when humanity feeds the ego, and how this gets us to a point of loss, but then also what we can do to prevent ourselves from falling in that trap. So Surah Takathur says, Al-Hakum al-Takathur. Al-Hakum means you that's what you keep yourself busy with. Al-Hakum al-Takathur, you keep yourself so busy and you're so overwhelmed and your day is filled with just wanting to create more. That's either you're studying towards that PhD, or you're working towards creating more in your business, and so on. But humanity seems to be busy with wanting to create more. حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ. And so we're so busy with that, we set the clock for this and run for that meeting and this and that, until it comes to a point where it stops. And where does it stop? حَتَّى زُرْتُمُ الْمَقَابِرِ. When you're ready to go down there, you realize that what have I really got? spent my whole life accumulating, but I'm leaving with nothing. Like the weakest link. كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. And then Allah says, at that point, you come to know. Right? There's a realization that sets in there. But sometimes it's too late. ثُمَّ كَلَّا سَوْفَ تَعْلَمُونَ. And Allah is reminding us that don't deny the fact that such a point does happen, you know. And what's beautiful about the Quran, it's not always talking about the year after and about death, whatever. The same thing happens on a daily basis with us. During the course of the day, there can be reflective moments. During the course of our journey, there can also be reflective moments where you think, actually, what am I doing? What if I really, and then you can change your course. And so don't just think of this as very linear, you know, you do your stuff over here and then you're going to be judged. Your judgment can also happen in your day if you choose to. Your judgment can also happen on your journey if you choose to. And those are the moments that Allah is reminding us, take those moments, because when you come to the qabr, it's too late. Okay? كَلَّا لَوْ تَعْلَمُونَ عِلْمَ الْيَقِينِ. Allah says, only if you knew ilm al-yaqeen. Ilm al-yaqeen is that irrefutable facts, right? Like death, as we were saying. Only if you knew that, and only if you knew what was the purpose of the soul, the journey of the soul, and where the soul's going to be ended up. If we all knew that, we would have made better choices. Right? But we don't know this. So there's a sense of feeling, of trust, of belief that one needs to have in our higher power to help us to guide us through this journey. Because we don't have that in Mulyaqeen. And the Quran helps us at least to say that these things are true, they're going to happen. لَتَرَوُنَّ الْجَحِيمِ. You can either look at it literally, Jahim is another word for Jahannam, that surely you will see Jahannam. But in this sense, I would prefer to look at it as the fire as symbolic, right? What happens when you are deceptive, manipulating, just serving the ego, self-serving, hoarding, and then losing a lot of money, bank collapse or whatever, these kind of things. What happens when these things happen? There's a nervousness, there's a tension, there's a depression, you know, there's a feeling like you want to commit suicide. There's all fire, right? So this is what Allah is trying to say to you. See where that's going to lead you, right? It's going to lead you only to your own fire, to your own destruction. ثُمَّ لَتَرَوُنَّهَا عَيْنَ الْيَقِينِ. And surely at some point you are going to come to the realization of what is true. ثُمَّ لَتُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. And when that point happens, right? And as I said, it can happen also within our journey. Then you sit back and you think, you know, what have I really gained? Is this what life's all about? Where is the happiness then? Where is the fun? Where is the peace and contentment? Right? But you're working in one direction, but you're expecting the results to be something else. And then Surah Humazzah, it's about the backbiter. It says, وَيْلٌ لِكُلِّ هُمَزَةٍ لُمَزَةٍ. Woe, shame, like, unto everyone who backbites or who denies. Right? And who are these people normally? الَّذِينَ جَمَعَ مَالَهُ وَعَدَّدَ. You'll normally notice that kind of behavior amongst people who hoard, who just want more and more. Because when you have that kind of need, there is a need to defend yourself against others. There is a need to put yourself above others, so you're obviously going to deride. There is a need to backbite because you want to say, oh no, you know, he's like that and he's, you know, because you're looking at your own interests. And الَّذِينَ جَمَعَ مَالَهُ وَعَدَّدَ يَحْسَبُ أَنَّ مَالَهُ أَخْلَدَ. He thinks that what he's accumulating is going to last forever. كَلَّا لَيُنْبَذَنَّ فِي الْخُطَمَةِ. Truly he will be thrown on the pile of debris. Again, it's metaphorical. Khutbah can refer to the hellfire, but it can also refer to, again, that pain that you put yourself in. Right? It's like when you come to that point, it's like, what did I do? I must be the worst person on earth. We say these things to ourselves. When you come to that point of like, I've wasted so much of time and so much of energy on this, but I've really got nothing to show. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَنْ خُتْمَ. So what will explain to you what this pile of debris is? It is that you land upon when you realize that you have actually gained nothing. نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة. That is so beautiful if you understand Arabic. It is a fire that was designed by Allah, right? Now the classical will talk about the fire of Jahannam, whatever, but again, let's make the Quran practical. نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة. It is that fire, that anxiety and that that drives us to want to commit suicide. That Allah has created, that eventually when you go that line, that's going to be at the end of that journey. تَطَّلِعُ عَلَى الْأَفْئِدَةِ, it eats at the heart. Right? Now this is the important part of this surah. إِنَّهَا عَلَيْهِمْ مُعْصَدَةٌ فِي أَمَدٍ مُمَدَّدٍ. So this is the warning that Allah gives us. Allah says, go that route. If you want to, be self-serving, do the manipulation thing that you want to, be deceitful and whatever, and think that you're gaining that way. But slowly, slowly it eats away at your heart, right? And Allah says when that happens, it's very difficult to come back to your original soul, your original state of the soul. So the sooner we can realize that those things in our lives that we are doing, and we know when we're doing them, we're not stupid. We know when we manipulate and deceit and being selfish and all of that. So the sooner that you can come to realize that that does not serve you anymore, it's not going to lead you to any place, come back and do the authentic thing so that you can truly be happy and truly be with bliss and with peace. That is what every soul is wanting. And then Surah Wal-Asr, in the middle it says, Wal-Asr. There comes a time in human beings' life when they feel lost, right? Whether it is, if you look at humanity over centuries, you can see there were some centuries where humanity was just on a lost cause. When you look at your life over a period of time, you can realize that you got lost somewhere. So by the token of time, humanity is in a state of loss. But the answer is, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who believe. Right? Now, I always say that we haven't seen Allah. We don't know what Allah looks like. We can only experience Allah through what we see in the material world. So whether you want, whatever form you want to believe in Allah, Islam, it's to always constantly realize that there is a higher power. There is a higher power that we need to put our trust in, that we need to rely on. Right? So, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. And then when you have established that faith in Allah, follow it up with good deeds. And again, we know what's good deeds for ourselves, and we know what's bad deeds, right? So to follow it up with good deeds. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. Right? And where you find that there's injustice, where you find that the haqq has been distorted, the truth has been distorted, is to put your shoulder to the wheel. Go there where you find places where these are out of place. Right? So join the TIC. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Right? And you will also find that on this journey, which is a struggle, you can see, right? It's the one thing that will save you is this quality of sabr. That's why I always say to people, fast, don't... It is difficult to fast, but fast, because fasting is one of those tools that Allah has given us to develop this quality of sabr. So you have this 1 month in which you practice it for the rest of the year. So when you have this quality of sabr, it helps you to survive on that journey. So beautifully, if you read these 3 surahs together, Surah Takathur, Asr, and Humaza, it gives you some sort of a conclusion about your journey of life and the struggles that you find on that journey.